One of the biggest questions that I get from men is about ejaculation control, how they can actually prolong lovemaking. I teach 3 different philosophies on ejaculation control. One comes from Tantra, one from Taoism, and one from shamanism. So the Tantrics believe that it's okay to ejaculate as long as you've transmuted your sexual energy or moved the sensations through their body at least 3 times. So if you've taken that sensation throughout your whole body, then when you ejaculate, you're actually not losing any of what they call life force or your energy. Transmuting means drawing it either up the body or through the body. I usually say sexual energy, but you can also think of it as sensation. So if you have a lot of sexual sensation in your genitals, what you want to do is take that sensation and move it throughout the entire body. So one of the Tantra techniques to control ejaculation is that when you get to that moment where you feel like you're close, maybe let's say on a scale of 1 to 10 you're at a 7 or an 8, what you can do is take a nice big deep breath in, contract the muscles at the base of the body. So for men, this is specifically between the scrotum and the anus. You're contracting those muscles, holding the contraction and holding your breath, taking a sniff of air, and exhaling. So it looks like this. Deep breath in, contract and hold, sniff, and exhale. And you want to do this at least 3 times in each round. So there's 3 rounds and you're doing the breath 3 times. If you're working with a partner, you can tell your partner that you're playing with this and actually teach them the breath so that they can actually transmute with you. Or you can practice on your own. Actually, self-pleasuring on your own is really great because it informs how you make love. So the longer you can prolong this and doing numbers of rounds, really building the sexual energy, really building the sexual sensation, the better orgasm that you end up having because you've been withholding that and it's building and building and building and building and building. And then when you get to that moment where you allow yourself to go to the 10, then you really, really feel that throughout your whole body, often having like a shuddering or like an aftershock that happens. So in Tantra, as we learn how to move or transmute the sexual sensation throughout the body, you can actually become full body orgasmic. Full body orgasm feels like a tingling all over the body, and usually there's a dry orgasm, meaning that you're not ejaculating with it. Now the Taoists have a different point of view on ejaculation. They base it upon age. So for example, by the time you're 40, they said that you should never ever ejaculate because it's draining too much of your vital life force. Now I'm not saying that ejaculation is bad. Ejaculation is actually something that's very healthy, but it's being at choice. It's being able to control when you want to ejaculate and when you don't. As you age, your body actually starts, for men, producing more estrogen, which can actually lower your sex drive. So when you withhold ejaculating, you're actually building more sexiness. You're actually building your sex drive. So there's always sort of this buzz happening in your genitals. So you're always turned on. You're always in this orgasmic state. And you stay there. So it can actually increase your sexual drive. So one of the Taoist techniques is paying attention to that area between the scrotum and the anus. And you can contract there. Or another thing you can do is actually press. So if you take 2 fingers and you press into that point, they actually call it the $1 million point. You can press into that point at that time when you feel like you're about to ejaculate. You can also pull the testicles away from the body. So you may notice when you get close to that moment of ejaculation that your testicles move up towards your body. What you'll want to do at that point is actually make a ring with your fingers and pull the testicles gently away from the body. You can do this if you have a partner. You can teach them how to do this, pull away, or you can do it with yourself. So pulling the testicles away helps to delay ejaculation as well. Some men have the opposite problem, which is not being able to ejaculate. They can go and go and go and go. So then you want to go into the more shamanic view, which is celebrating the orgasm. So a lot of times what I find men not ejaculating or having difficulty ejaculating is that there's shame around it, or there's an ability to surrender. So in shamanism we talk a lot about celebrating, surrendering into, using breath. And another thing you can do is actually push out with your body. So instead of when you're trying to control the ejaculation and not ejaculate, you're actually contracting. But what you want to do when you are having difficulty ejaculating is actually relaxing into the ejaculation, to really surrender, to really go into a nice deep relaxation and a celebration of that. Something you can do with a partner is if you do have shame or this inability to ejaculate, one thing you can do is actually self-pleasure for them. And when you get to that moment where you're feeling as if you're going to ejaculate or you do ejaculate, having them actually clap or praise you at that moment, so that that reinforces in your body that it's okay, that this is something that's safe and that you can surrender into. So play with these 3 different types of ejaculation control. The tantrics, which say to at least transmute 3 times through the body. The Taoists, which really have that ejaculation control to cultivate lots of energy throughout the body. And the shamans, who say, really celebrate, don't be ashamed of your ejaculation. Enjoy, explore, and most importantly, have fun when you're trying out all these new techniques.